it looks like this weekend at the movies is going to be all about the 90s. First we got mid-90s, and second we got Hunter Killer, which is a 90s throwback. Based on the 2012 novel Firing Point by Don Keith and George Wallace, this movie is directed by Donovan Marsh and stars Gary Oldman, Linda Cardellini, Michael Nyvist, and Gerard Butler. What to make of Gerard Butler? You know, well, first of all, you really got to respect a man willing to sift through Nicolas Cage's mail for all of his 90s remakes. You know, back when the word summer blockbuster actually meant something like original and fun, as he again tries to reinvigorate the era long gone, one video-on-demand movie at a time. Trust me when I say Hunter Killer actually here has a large budget, mostly wasted on its actors, and it shows. You'll get one elaborate, sophisticated sweeping shot followed by a sad digital explosion where the visual effects team here has obviously been told to cut corners so they could cut Gary Oldman's paycheck. Most of this review is going to sound pretty negative, but that doesn't mean it's all bad. It's mostly a nostalgic popcorn fun, and it has all the ingredients of a good action movie with a low production value. Kind of a knockoff Tom Clancy story directed by a discount Michael Bay feeling. And knowing that, I gotta rate this movie as such. But first, let's talk about some of the issues you will encounter while watching this film. The movie, first of all, is about, I'd say 2 hours and 10 minutes long maybe. And trust me guys, you will feel every minute due to its 3 separate competing plot lines being played out thousands of miles apart. You have the claustrophobia-inducing underwater submarine plot device aboard the USS Alabama with Butler that the trailer played very heavily on. You got Gary Oldman here too as the cliché Joint Chiefs of Staff who has a painful 10 minutes of dialogue that is pure exposition at its best, delivered at the top of his lungs, in a way that makes you kind of second guess that Oscar. Given very little to do here, it's obvious Oldman here was just here for a quick paycheck. And then there's the lesser known area of this movie, which is the Navy SEAL ground effort, led by former Black Sails actor Toby Stephens, who's one of my favorite parts of this movie. He impresses as the Special Forces badass on a mission to retrieve the reasonable, more diplomatic Russian president after a military coup by the pesky Russian Admiral Dmitry Durov, who wants to start World War III for some reason. I'm yet to really actually figure that out though. I would normally say, if you could grasp all the senselessness, absurdity, and stupidity, and could laugh and have fun with it, movies like this sometimes can win you over and become guilty pleasures. Unfortunately, Hunter Killer and its cast takes itself a bit too seriously, at times feeling inadvertently campy and comical. There are times the movie does find itself. It was enjoyable to see Butler take the backseat as the action star to Stephens, instead of opting for the more subdued role here as the commander of the Hunter Killer, Joe Glass, whose job it is to keep all of his trigger-happy men, especially his XO, from starting World War III. And his relationship with Michael Nyvist in his last role as the Russian sub-commander was pretty solid stuff. But the movie suffers from an overextended setup, taking over an hour just to get to the coup attempt itself, when it should have spent the first half in a suspenseful countdown to a doomsday scenario, leaving the first hour plus of this movie feeling very empty and hollow. Ultimately, this stuffy movie script should have been turned over to the real Michael Bay, or someone with a little more know-how for these types of movies, over the inexperienced Marsh, someone who could have taken advantage of the reasonably talented cast. If so, it probably could have turned out to be a pretty fun ride. Instead, Hunter Killer feels like a cliché, convoluted, uninspired film, and a mere parody of its counterparts, such as Crimson Tide, U-571, and The Hunt for Red October. Like I said, at the beginning, I'm scoring this movie for what it is. A Tom Clancy, Michael Bay, 90s knockoff stolen from Nicolas Cage's mailbox. And after all those things are accounted for, I'll have to give Hunter Killer a C-. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you liked my review of Hunter Killer. For more videos like this one, stay tuned to my channel by hitting that subscribe button and joining the quest.